Survivor 44, week 12. I kind of just want to get to the ending really quickly. I'm going to go through it real quick. But there's some really interesting plays here at the end of the episode that is just... There's one really big one that's like really stupid to me. And it's just, it's on my mind. It's like, did that really happen? So... We're going into this episode. Tika is very strong right now. There are 3 of the 6 remaining. Carolyn, Jam Jam, and Carson left in the game. And then you have Jamie, Lauren, and Heidi. So that's just kind of like the outliers left outside of the Tika strong. So they are the strong 3 left from the Tika tribe. They are basically in control of this game right now if they wish to be. So after getting Danny out in the last episode. So Carolyn, she's the one who had her idol, and she played her idol at the last tribal, even though she didn't need to play it. She played the idol for Carson, and he wouldn't have gone home anyway, so she wasted her idol, which honestly she could have almost used tonight, but she played it for Carson and she didn't need to. So we get back to camp after tribal council, and Carolyn basically goes into her story mode of telling about how she has held on to her idol this entire time, this entire season. She's held on to it since the beginning, since she got it from the cage thing, and it basically puts like a target on her back in a way. They kind of play it up in that way. They show us a few people starting to get worried about it. Like, I think like Jam Jam got very, very concerned about the whole idol thing. Like she was just keeping that and being very secretive, and how she's a better player than I think a lot of them anticipated her being, because she's just very weird and stuff. So it kind of put a target on her back in some way throughout the episode, and that was kind of the big feeling through the episode, is like Carolyn is this big threat that now everybody's looking at. It's like, should we get her out? Like she's playing a game that is very good. So that is kind of something that's set up at the beginning, and then that goes through the episode. So everyone's now looking for an idol. Heidi already has an idol. I don't know if there's another idol out there or not. I would assume there would be. But I don't think anyone's going to find another idol, since we're going to the end now. I think next week, the finale next week is going to be the last time they can play it, the final 5 into 4. Now, speaking of idols, like everyone's looking for one in this episode, but Heidi is still holding on to her idol. But you know, with what happens at the end of this episode, there could be another idol that pops up at some point. We'll see what happens. I don't know if 2 idols would have been going out at this late in the game or not, but nobody ends up finding an idol through the episode, so that's not a thing they focus on too long. We go into reward challenge. We split up into 2 tribes or teams or whatever of 3. They do this challenge we've seen before. They roll around in the ball, and there's like one person in the ball that have to lead the 2 blindfolded people through the course, do the little puzzle like maze at the end, and ultimately Carson, Jam Jam, and Lauren won the reward. They go to reward and they kind of discuss some things. You kind of see Jam Jam contemplating if he really wants to get Carolyn out or not, because she is a big threat in this game, and he's starting to realize that. So this is jump to it. Lauren wins immunity at the challenge. The immunity challenge is where they basically have to hold up this big plate on these ropes, and they have to hold their ball on this flat plate and just hold their ball, keep it from rolling off as long as possible. It goes pretty quick. They had like 3 rounds set for it, but it didn't take long. Like 4 people ended up going out like right away. And they made it to like the 2nd round, and then it ended. So Lauren won that. So she is safe tonight. She will make it to the final 5 and into the final episode, the finale week of Survivor 44. So the big target is Carolyn, and that is the big talk going into after the immunity challenge. And, you know, once again, we see Jam Jam scrambling around. Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to finally flip on the Tika, the Tika Strong 3? And is he going to flip and make his move here and get Carolyn out? Because I think Carolyn has a very big chance of winning this game in the end if she makes it to the end. And that is kind of the big target for everybody else, and especially those who are not in part of Tika. You know, they want to target the Tika tribe because they are currently very strong right now, and it makes sense for them to want to target them. The other name that gets thrown around is Jamie as well. That is like the other vote that Jam Jam is kind of contemplating between. Is he going to vote out one of his own, or is he going to help out and get out Jamie? Because I don't know why to get Jamie out. Like, whatever, I guess. So Carolyn is the big one. Is she going to be voted out tonight or not? She's not safe. She doesn't have an idol anymore. She wasted her idol last tribal council. She did not win immunity, so she can be voted out tonight. I like Carolyn. I think going into the final 3, I think it would be entertaining to see her there in the final 3. I think she will win if she does. But her in the final 3 would be entertaining. It would be entertainment It would be very good entertainment for season 44, but when you see the opportunity for someone else in the game to get her out as such a big player and threat that she is, in a way, I kind of see like you should really get her out. I did this with like Franny earlier on. Like she was really good at challenges. Like you should probably get her out, and they got her out that episode. I'm like, okay, good. You did a good vote, even though if I liked her and that didn't really matter. Like the vote was really well done and it made sense. This episode, it made sense to get out Carolyn. I think it really did. And it seemed like that was maybe going to be the case, but it came down to 2 people. So they do tribal council, and before they vote, they go up and vote, and then right before Jeff reads the votes, Heidi comes out of nowhere because for some reason, I don't get why. It is the big move of the night that just baffles me. I don't know. We didn't really see her name brought up like even once. I don't know. I didn't hear her name at all. I don't think she was she was not targeted whatsoever in this episode at all. Like I don't think her name was really thrown around a lot. So she plays her idol right before the votes are read. So she wastes her idol, and now she does not have an idol anymore, and it's gone. It's just another wasted idol. It's been a lot of wasted idols this season of Survivor, for sure. It's stupid. Pure stupidity. I guess I'm not in that situation. Maybe it's like that last second like instinct of, oh my God, maybe I don't know, and I'm going to play my idol, and, I make sure I'm safe. But she did not need to play her idol whatsoever. Didn't even have 1 vote. So Heidi wastes her idol right before the votes are read, and it comes down to Carolyn or Jamie. That is the 2 names that were thrown around. Carolyn was the big one. Mainly came down to who is Jam Jam going to vote out. There was this big contemplation through the whole later half of the episode where is he really going to flip on the Tika tribe finally, or is he going to go ahead and just vote Jamie and stick strong with his alliance of the Tika tribe? And I think Jam Jam made a big mistake this episode for his game. Jamie is the one voted out. So Carolyn is safe. Jam Jam made the decision to vote out Jamie, and he kept Carolyn around. And there was this whole speech even in Tribal before, you're going to vote out someone that you're very close with, and you got to finally turn on your alliance. You've been someone you've been with for so long in the game, and Carolyn's making her weird faces like she does, and then they play it up as long as they can, and Jamie is still the one voted out. So very unexciting. Jamie was not going to win this game no matter what, so I think it was actually pretty smart if you could maybe bring her to the end. I would have brought her to the end. She's not going to win this game. But Jamie's voted out. Now you have the massive player that is Carolyn still in this game. And Jam Jam is obviously, I think, the other really big player in the game. I think he has a good chance. I think he's the only one in this game who has a chance on beating Carolyn if, it's those 2 in the end. I think he should have gotten Carolyn out of this episode. I think it was really, really stupid of him. We'll see how it plays out, though. Maybe I'm just wrong, and maybe it was good to keep his ally in the game. I don't know. But I think he really should have voted Carolyn, even though I would have liked to see Carolyn stick around maybe a little longer. Carolyn, Jam Jam, and I don't know, Carson or something in the end. The Tika Strong maybe in the end would be kind of interesting. But I think in that moment, though, the right vote for Jam Jam, at least, was to get Carolyn out, and they voted Jamie. So Jamie's gone. She is on the jury. Now we are down to 5, and Tika is very strong now. And I don't know if that's going to really stay together anymore. We're into the finale next week, so we're going to find out who wins next week. It's it. This is it. We're going to get one more vote, and then we're going to do fire, and we'll see what happens. I'd say it's just Jam Jam in the end with, even Carson, the only other bigger player I could think besides Carolyn. I think Jam Jam, if he's the only one in the final 3 without Carolyn, I think he'll win. If Carolyn's in the final 3 without Jam Jam, I think she will win. If it's Carolyn and Jam Jam, I think it's a pretty good face-off. It'll probably come down to, how you convince the jury when you are, giving your final, talk to the jury in the end. But again, it'll probably, I could see it also coming down to they're one of the big players in the end. They're not going to want to bring one of each other to the end. So I think Carolyn or Jam Jam could also end up doing fire, making fire in the end to make it to the final 3, because that's just something they do now. I kind of wish they, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the fire thing. I've gotten used to it, but it's just I'd like to kind of see a normal vote again. There's a lot of the things that changed recently for Survivor that I just would almost like to just see it go the way it used to. Just do a normal vote. I think it's the normal tribal councils are fun too. Fire challenges are exciting. They definitely are exciting, but it always has this chance to get this incredible player out. I've seen so many good players get taken out at the end because of the stupid fire challenge, and they didn't get voted out in the game or whatever. It's just they lost to the fire, and I don't know. The fire challenge is weird, but we will see it next week most likely, and we will see one more person voted out, and then we'll see what happens. But Jam Jam and Carolyn, the two biggest players in this game, I would say, are still in, and we'll see where it goes. But very unexciting vote tonight for sure. I think a big move could have been made there with Carolyn, but it just wasn't. And we'll see where it goes. But on to the finale next week. Survivor 44 is almost done. It's been all right, and we'll see who wins this thing.